Married couples who sleep in separate rooms. Why do you do this? My grandparents do this. My grandfather built a small apartment on the second floor of their house. They do it because they have different sleep schedules and in general they spend much of the day apart because they like it that way. But they always eat lunch and dinner together. And my grandfather loves to listen to her soft footsteps throughout the day. He calls her the woman next door. It's really cute. The soft footsteps is the cutest. My parents do this. My mom likes to sleep with the TV on. My dad snores and steals sheets. My mother claims sleeping separately saved their marriage. Sounds like me and my husband, except my husband doesn't steal the sheets. He lays on them and I have to either wake him up or use all my strength to pull the sheets from under him. Girlfriend's parents do this. They both snore and do it to get away from each other snoring. I didn't think it was that bad until they talked about having to sleep in the same bed during their trip in Europe. They were at each other's throats because if one fell asleep, the other couldn't. Had a roommate in a hotel that snored so loud we would drag him sleeping into the bathroom and close the door. He seriously sounded like a snoring cartoon. I know an older couple that have separate rooms. From what I can tell, they're very much in love and very clearly and openly affectionate with each other. Apparently her snoring is next level, like their dog starts barking if he's nearby. I have a hard time falling asleep without something to distract my brain from thinking. I usually watch a show, documentary or do some repetitive game on my phone to accomplish this. But she can't stand the lights from the screen. OMG, my wife kills me with that dang phone screen at night. She can't fathom why it bothers me. During the summer I moved to another room we call the wind tunnel. Basically I have a ceiling fan going almost 24/7 and a window fan above the bed I run from 7 PM to 8 AM. She has allergies and easily gets runny nose and sneezes from any moving air. My body temp will skyrocket and I'll sweat like crazy in a room devoid of moving air. So she sleeps in a stuffy no air movement master bedroom and I sleep soundly in the wind tunnel. During the winter I move back, cause then I become the ultimate body warmer for her. My parents slept in separate beds as did my great-grandparents. For my great-grandparents it was a comfort thing. Grandma didn't like not being able to move around the bed at will. She and grandpa loved each other dearly and she passed not long after he did because she missed him so much. For my parents it was a couple things. As my dad aged his sleep cycle went weird. He would be able to sleep a couple hours and then be up half the night and fall asleep again about the time my mom was getting up for work. Also my mom has sleep apnea and uses CPAP. It made hella noise back then. Dad was half deaf and the sound still bothered him. Out of respect for each other they decided it was better to have separate bedrooms. This makes me feel better about my husband and I not sharing a bed. Haha. Some people act like that means your marriage is falling apart. Honestly it helps us love each other more because I'm not up multiple times a night with his tossing and turning. And he's not up all night listening to my snoring. Sometimes I have to sleep on the couch cause I get hypersensitive to sound, especially human sound, and don't like the noise his whole existence makes. He gets it luckily. Misophonia, real thing. It bothered me as a kid, but I really noticed noises when I came back from overseas. Hypersensitive now. I am actually surprised misophonia has not ended up being a reason for a percentage of violent crimes and disorders. I don't believe it's even on the newest DSM. If I even try to sleep on the couch in another room I will wake up to her on top of me. Lol, I do this. I am an absolute terrible person to share a bed with. I snore like a passing semi-truck and apparently, I'm told, flail wildly in my sleep. When we first got married I kept waking up to an empty bed. She would join me for an hour until I was asleep, then retreat to the couch. After a week or two I got fed up and just went to the couch first. Then started several months of us trading off for the couch. Eventually I just went and bought a twin mattress and tossed it in the office. That became my bed. And when we got a bigger house, I just set up in a separate room. Different sleep cycles and work schedules. He wakes up 3 hours before me. I'm a shift worker. She's a teacher. We blended 2 households. His bedroom was fully furnished and the furniture and closet were full. It made sense for my stuff to go in a different bedroom. We started out sleeping in one room or the other, but I realized pretty quickly that if I ever wanted to get a full night's sleep, it wasn't going to be in the same bed with him. I've been known to call him a sweating, snoring, slant sleeping son of a bitch after a night of his sweating, snoring, and slant sleeping. We do a your place or mine thing for non-sleeping activities, but for when it's sleepy time. I've been known to call him a sweating, snoring, slant sleeping son of a bitch. Well, that seems a bit harsh. After a night of his sweating, snoring, and slant sleeping. Oh, right then. Sleep cycles and she violently tosses around. I've been asked by my commander if I got into a fight when I showed up to duty with a black eye. Spouse snores, 2 60-pound dogs, and a queen-size bed. No room for me and I need dead silence. Not separate rooms, but a king bed and separate blankets. We sleep way better. I am a notorious blanket hog and he's always hot when he sleeps. Then we can be close when we want to and separate when we need a good sleep. My husband and I have used separate blankets since right after he first moved in when we were dating. For the same reasons. I'm a blanket hog and love a thick comforter. He can make do with just a thin sheet. My stepmother's parents took this to a new level. He built a second house next door. They lived next to each other for 20 years before they both passed in a short amount of time. It seemed very odd to me, but it worked for them, at least from an outside perspective. I know images never reflect reality. He snores. I have a casual acquaintance that I know sleeps in a different room than his wife. I was curious about why, but I felt it was too personal to ask. And then we went on a bachelor party and I stayed in the same room as him. When we heard him snore, we all knew why. I have an aunt and uncle who do this. They're just hyper independent, mostly fueled by her, so they eat dinner together but do pretty much everything else separately. The funny part is if I send out invites to something like a family reunion or dinner reservations during somewhere when we're already gathered, he'll say I'm coming, but you'll need to check with your aunt for her answer. It's certainly not how my relationship works, but they've been married for like 50 years, so I guess I don't have any reason to criticize their methods. Obviously I don't know details, but that sounds awesome. Like it's just a permanent sleepover with your best friend. You're your own person but still have that love and support of a spouse. Okay, look, I didn't mean to punch him in the face or kick him in the stomach. He just kept encroaching on my 7/8 of the bed. Perfectly understandable. To stay married, I would say seriously, but I am serious. Other reasons. 1. She's an only child, never had to share. 2. I had a large family, don't want to share anymore. 3. She likes a soft mattress, and I like a firm one. 4. We both snore, but at different points in the night. 5. Night farts, not going to assign blame. There's plenty enough to go around. 6. Her cats don't like to share a bed with my dog. I could go on, but these are the highlights. 6 is like my main reason for wanting my own bedroom. My cat doesn't sleep with me anymore since my boyfriend and his dog moved in. They take up the whole bed and I miss my cat. I can't sleep very well. Sometimes I don't at all, and when I do, I toss and tumble. It's easier on everyone if I just sleep on my own schedule and in my own bed. Sleeping in separate rooms isn't a sign of a broken relationship. My wife snores like a Peterbilt using exhaust braking on a steep descent. She wants to sleep in the same room as our newborn baby to be close to him, take better care of him at night. I want to get enough sleep to function at my job. Same thing going on here. Sucks, but it's temporary. Sometimes my GF and I sleep in different rooms, and the reasons often differ. Did I eat a big bean burrito earlier? Separate rooms. Just an example. Also, unless your bed is massive, sleeping with someone next to you can make it more difficult to sleep. Yes, sleeping together is romantic, but getting good sleep is more romantic. This happened with my parents. They started in the same bed, but eventually the reasons to get separate rooms piled up to the point where it made too much sense not to arrange it. Snoring was a problem. Dad is a light sleeper. Mom has a variable sleep schedule. They like different room temperatures. And now our cat's meowing only bothers my mother, who takes it better. Not different rooms, but I sleep on the floor. We bought a Casper mattress, and I slept on it with him for almost a year, waking up every day in a little bit more pain than the day before. I slept on the floor, by choice, until I was around 16. I woke up one morning about 6 months ago with my back hurting so bad that ibuprofen couldn't touch, so I slept on the floor that night, and have been every night since. The mattress is too soft. My fiance and my black lab sleep well enough on it, and I don't wake up feeling like crap. It works for us. My friend married a Japanese man, and they bought super expensive adjustable orthopedic bed. He ended up sleeping on the floor because it was more comfortable for him, and apparently he was used to it and couldn't get used to the bed. My partner and I have completely separate bedrooms. We sleep over occasionally in each other's rooms. However, we both find we sleep exponentially better apart. He's a night owl and I'm an early bird. He needs total darkness. I want to wake up with the sun. He wants one sheet and one sheet only on him. I want 10 pounds of blankets. In addition, having a separate room allows me to decorate it however I want, have my own personal space, and keep it to the level of cleanliness I prefer. It makes me feel independent. People look at us sideways when I mention the separate rooms thing, but it's been a game changer. Different sleep cycles due to different work schedules. We are still madly in love and we both agreed to this, because it's the best for both of us. I'm a very kinetic sleeper. She's a very light sleeper. Can I make it any more obvious? Friends of mine do this. She doesn't like him and feels he is a terrible husband and father. He won't divorce her because it'll cost him his standing in the church, which is the only level of social prestige he has. He's verbally abusive and initially she did it as a wake-up call to encourage him to listen up. It's going on its 4th year. I snore. She snores. She also puts her arms across my face which wakes me up and makes me irritated. Snore. I do. Sleep. Others do not. My parents do this every so often because my dad snores but usually my mum manages by just falling asleep first. COMFORT. Snuggles are nice but man do I love having a big fat king size gel mattress to my dang self. We've never really shared a bed because he was on midnights forever and when he moved to day shift I just hated having him in bed at night. Plus when he creeps in for booty, it's like we're teenagers again sneaking around. I snore loudly. I miss him terribly but it is important for us to both get a good night's sleep. My buddy is basically married and they have this arrangement. Basically they say they aren't one person just because they are dating. They don't want to be the couple who merges into one entity. They are two separate adults and adults have their own rooms. They're two of the most capable and competent people I've ever met in my life. They have their crap figured out. They are the reason I no longer view two separate rooms as a sign of a dysfunctional relationship. If anything they make me think most relationships would benefit from their let's not do literally everything together mentality. 3 reasons. I am prone to severe and prolonged bouts of insomnia. Separate beds allows my wife to get a full night's sleep without me disturbing her. I have a really fricked up hip that leaves me sleeping at weird angles positions. With different beds, I can get comfy without crowding her. I'm a tall guy, so even a king size bed would be a challenge for us to both get comfortable in. She can't sleep without a fan on. I can't sleep with a fan on. 8 people with undiagnosed obstructive sleep apnea. Let's get some CPAPs up in this thread. I'm 6 feet 5 inches and sleep spread out on my back and she has restless leg that throws knees to my body. Muay Thai 24/7. We grabbed a California king bed and it still wasn't enough. Have a married couple as friends that do it just because they love sleeping alone. They love each other. Oh, and he farts in his sleep. You have been visited by the happy baby pygmy murder cow. Back away slowly and subscribe quickly to ensure your safety. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.